What's up, people? Welcome to the Kings for the Culture podcast, powered by Holla at Harley. This is going to be a pretty much a weekly show, maybe twice a week. We'll be doing Raiders talk, football talk, but mainly Raiders talk. I am Brandon Harley. This is my man right here. He can introduce himself.
Jacob Maxey, Rita 843. Let's
Already,
go.
already, let's go, man. Already.
Yeah.
So, man, it's an exciting time right now. Um, we just got finished with the draft. The draft was completed a couple hours ago. First night was Thursday. Then we had 2 rounds last night, and the rest was done today. Overall, I know me personally, I was pretty excited about the draft coming in. I know we needed a few needs that we need, quarterback, tackle, cornerback. We pretty much addressed everything that we needed, in my opinion, except the quarterback. But I guess Raider Nation and Antonio Pearson, the guys are happy with the quarterback situation. I'm content
Yeah.
with it. It could be worse. But other than that, I mean, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I think it's one of those. I've been watching the Raiders draft for, it's like, going on 20 years now. So I like to think I watched the draft objectively. And just kind of watching it, it wasn't sexy or exciting, but I mean, for what was there, I didn't have a problem with it. You know,
Okay.
Brock Bowers, the tight end, that's the pick everyone's kind of
Yeah, I'm
discussing.
about to say, let's go ahead and let's get into it. How you feel about the Bowers pick? I'll let you go first.
I mean, the Bowers pick, I don't think. I mean, obviously, it was best player available, and I don't think we needed it. But I mean, if you think Aiden O'Connell's weakness is arm strength and getting and timing, why not get him another tight end he can throw to, or another special weapon he can use? You still got Devontae and Jacoby on the outside. I mean, I don't think it's a bad. I don't think it's a bad pick. Could they maybe have picked the corner? I would have liked a better defense or a tackle. I definitely love the tackle, but you'll get to that later on. But I don't think Bowers is a bad pick. What about you?
Me personally, at first, I was kind of in the middle about it, but the more research I did, reading about this guy, I was pretty impressed. I mean, he's highly touted coming out, man, as one of the best tight ends that came out in a while. And
Right.
usually against taking a tight end that high because we've seen it didn't work out in the past. But at
Yep.
the same time, you got to look at the bigger picture. You got Aiden O'Connell or you got Minshew. You got Jacoby and Devontae on the outside. You got Trey Tucker, who's going to be able to stretch the field. And
Yep.
I think, man, you spoke off camera when we were saying that Bowers technically could be used as another tackle run that double tight end set. If you want to go to the Patriot style with Aaron Hernandez and Bob
Absolutely.
Gronkowski, but at the same time, I hope we have both successes on the field. I'm not gonna get into the Aaron Hernandez situation too much, but I hope both of these guys are very successful on the field. I mean, this guy being 6'4", 260 something pounds. I mean, hey, he can move, man. So we'll see.
Yeah, I completely agree. Even
6'4", 240. My fault.
Tom Brock. Yeah. I mean, I agree. You're talking about a player who, as a freshman, looked like he could have came out and been a first round pick. So, and he's done it consistently. We haven't seen much of a fall off. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's one of those things like, okay, it's a luxury pick, but it's a good player. Like, this is someone who day one is going to be on the field effective. Him
Immediately
and Trey
impact.
Tucker. It's going to be interesting to see how they split the time between him and Trey Tucker, especially Trey being that slot. And then now you got Bowers being that H back slash tight end and still mixing in Michael Mayer. I'm
Right.
interested to see how if Getsy can pull it off. This is the test. Is Getsy a good coach or not? Like, we're gonna give you a play. We're gonna give you players. We're
I
gonna give
mean,
you good quality players.
you got everything you could possibly want over there. It's gonna be interesting, especially going in training camp. But
Yeah.
we spoke about Bowers. We're gonna go to the second round pick, Jackson Powers Johnson. This was a pick that I was excited about. I did some research on him. See, he was one of the best guard slash centers coming out. He kind of gave me that Richie Incognito vibe in a positive way. Um, guys,
Yeah.
the guy's real
Pause.
nasty in the trenches, man.
Yeah,
Pause. He does what he's supposed
absolutely.
to do. He gets down and dirty. Pause. And
Pause.
I feel like, man, he's bringing that mystique back to the offensive line. I feel like the offensive line was kind of lacking attitude a little bit, and I feel like he's gonna be the one to inject that nasty energy, pause, into the offensive line. How you feel about it?
Oh yes, I like how you play, how you put that. That definitely that energy he about to bring. Because
Right?
he's see that line. If you mentioned the line, but that line is quiet. Ain't too much talkers.
No,
Andre James don't say much. Colton Miller don't say much. Dylan Palmer seems like a real reserve guy. But you always need one of them boys in the line to talk some, talk that talk.
and I always felt like a Luminor was, but go ahead.
Nah, he talk, man. I don't think he be, he's one of those guys who just
He talks when nobody's listening.
right, right. He very much you gonna stay over there, Jermaine. Go ahead about
Right,
your
right,
business.
right. Go sit down, Jermaine.
Right,
Right.
go sit down,
But
Jermaine.
yeah, man. I mean, I just felt like this was a great pick, man. This guy was an All-American. He was a Remington Award winner, which is awarded to the top center in college football. I mean, that's a high value pick. What more could you want?
And to get him at 44, I think was also kind of
44.
because he was projected to go in the first round.
Yeah, well, man,
And
listen, I think a lot of people got pushed back, especially with it was what 10 offensive players picked in the first 10 picks, right? First 10 or 11.
records record setting
Like I
picks.
said,
Like you had what at least the quarterbacks tied with six, but I mean it was and that goes back to not to backtrack to the first round, but that goes back to my thinking of why I thought maybe our defensive player was had an even more chance to be picked because they had the choice of any defensive player they wanted for the most part. So they could have took the best on their board, but they went with Powers. So Bowers, but we'll see.
I got you. Okay. We're gonna go to round three, the 77th overall pick. Delmar Glaze, the offensive tackle out of Maryland. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Now, Mr. Glaze, I was watching a video
Mr. Glaze is crazy, but go ahead.
from 2 weeks ago, and he seems like a solid prospect. I'm interested to watch him because I want to know his mentality because that
Right,
seems to be what's gotten him this far.
right.
Um, I mean, because there were other tackles on the board that I thought, or at least different linemen or players that I thought they could have taken,
Mm-hmm.
but not that much of a reach where he wasn't a good pick.
I
But
got you.
I mean, he didn't give up. He did. The only time he would give up pressure at Maryland was dealing with those quick twitch rushes, which has been well documented. That's a part of his profile. But I mean, I think if anything, if nothing else, he'd be able to slide in the guard in the pinch.
Yeah, I mean, he started 32 out of 49 games in at Maryland, so he's got somewhat good experience. Um, he's gonna. I tell you what, he's gonna definitely get a damn workout going up against that Raiders defensive line. I can tell you that for sure. So that makes sure he's ready. I mean, you can't get no better practice than that going up against one of the better defensive lines in the league. But overall, I mean, they addressed the pick. I'm kind of if I had to put a grade on it, I'd probably give it like a C. But we'll see, man. He may come in and make an immediate impact. It was a quality pick, I'll say. It was a
Yeah,
body to add and
right.
possibly
But
make an impact.
I still, like I said, I still think I don't know. I think they could have done looked the other way. That might have been a good spot to take a quarterback. Or I mean, round three is a bit high, but I just felt like there was other talent on the board
Yeah,
that
like I said,
warranted a higher pick. But
and I can agree, man. But apparently they like this guy. They want to go get him. I wouldn't mind seeing Rattler or even Jordan Travis or Joe Milton there, but they got other plans. Like I said, the organization obviously believe in the quarterbacks that they got right now, and
clearly,
I tell you
clearly,
what, we're in a whole better situation this year at quarterback than we was last year with your man Garoppolo. But I ain't gonna bother you too much about that. All right.
hey, you
Uh,
see that?
hey, hey,
Go ahead, go ahead, go
hey.
ahead.
Hey, we're gonna go into the fourth round pick 112. I hope I'm saying this kid's name right. I don't like to butcher anybody's name, but I think you pronounce it D. Camarion Richardson
Teacher Marion.
of Mississippi State.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
big athletic guy. He's 6'2", runs a 4.340. The guy tested number one as far as athleticism in the draft. He tested up real high. I want to say he was number one corner, maybe the number one player, but I know for sure he was number one corner. I looked at film on this guy, man. Hey, this guy with that size and that speed, and he likes to tackle. He's not a fragile guy. He likes to get in and get his. He like to get dirty, man. Pause. And I'm very excited about this guy, especially with having Bennett last year coming in, and
Oh,
I feel like we got a good bit of speed now, and you're gonna have to have that speed to compete against the Chiefs because they just drafted the fastest guy in the draft, and then you got Hollywood Brown over there, so they got speed on top of speed, and to have speed to
right.
match that. Um,
It's gonna
hey,
be
I
a
love the
war.
pick, man.
Yeah, I thought from the brief research I did on him, I like the fact that he tackles. That's always been one of the things with the Raiders corners. They'll cover, but that tackling is even every now and again we'll get one. That's why I love Nate Hobbs and Jack Jones so
Uh-huh.
much because they get down and dirty like that. Pause. It's it's I think that's what stuck out to me the most the long arms and the tackling ability.
Hey,
And
man.
you could do that on the edge. I get and I think I read somewhere he played most of his snaps on the outside. So that kind of gives you the idea that they're trying to keep Nate Hobbs in the slot. You
Which
don't
is what
want
he
him
thrives
moving
at.
all around. Right. We're gonna keep him where he best at. And so that's what that pick also kind of gave me the idea of. But
No doubt, no doubt, man. And I mean, one thing I want to hop on before we move on. The guy had 164 combined tackles over the last 2 seasons, man. He had 7 pass breakups last season. So like you said, man, he likes to get in there, man, and
like to
he
get
likes
dirty.
to hit, man. So
Pause.
I, I'm
Yeah,
very, very. This is one of my favorite picks in this draft. Hopefully, he lives up, to the expectations. Actually, exceeds expectations, man.
I mean, and that is that round four, that kind of that's that soft spot for if you find talent and can coach it, you got something special. Because what Richard Sherman was a fourth or fifth round pick.
Or
I
fifth,
know
yeah.
Max Crosby was a fourth pick,
Yeah.
fourth round pick. So I mean, this is a sweet spot.
Well, even with that being said, I mean, we seen what Jack Jones did when he get over there. So obviously, we got good coaching over there for cornerbacks, man. And
Right,
Jack
absolutely.
Jones, like you said, Nate Hobbs, and unfortunately, this guy, Amik Roberts, had one of his better seasons last year. He went on and got paid. So
Right,
obviously, we're doing something right in the secondary, man.
that's true. Shout out to me, man.
Oh yeah, oh
Get
yeah.
that bag, young man.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. All right, we'll go to round five, pick 148, inside linebacker from Ohio State, Tommy Itchenberg. How you
Is it
feel?
Itchenberg or
It's
Eichenberg?
Eichenberg. Either, yeah. Listen, I'm not good with names. Hey,
This
Itchenberg or Eichenberg, either one. But
this
how you feel about him?
I think this was another pick I didn't know much about him. I knew that Ohio State defense was pretty good,
Yeah,
but
hey,
when isn't it?
yeah.
And but I did after I got kind of digging in. I know he's more that just that downhill thumper. He's not, but I I'm all over the place. But I had the idea of Spillane because they're saying this kid's weakness is the coverage, but I'm thinking like Spillane came in and showed that that's not an issue. So if they just let him come in, special teams, goal line, work about playing downhill, and we work with you with the coverage because we seen Spillane do it, and they said that was an issue. Like what do we?
And Spillane played great last year, man. Spillane played great. Um, My thing about him is, man, last season, he had 82 tackles, 2.5 for loss, a sack, and a forced fumble in 10 games played. One thing I did notice on the film, this guy can get after the quarterback from the linebacker spot, man. He can get after the quarterback. Even though he may not get the sack, but he can definitely put pressure on the quarterback. And at 6'2", 233 pounds is great size, man. He can move
Yeah,
around. We'll see, man. I feel like him and Spillane could definitely
yeah.
be a nice 1-2 punch. And he needs to learn from Spillane. Who's better to
Huh?
learn from?
exactly. And you got to remember, this is Devon Diablo's contract. Yeah, so put a little fire under him too. Hey, we just drafted a replacement, signed to come in and work this year. I still don't think they re-signed him, but that's another topic for another
Yeah,
episode.
shout out to them.
But I did notice that they like you mentioned blitzing. That was a part of his profile when they
Yeah,
talked about his high percentage of blitzing and what he was most effective at Ohio State.
I got
But
you, man. I got you. Like I said, man. He possibly could be one of those gems, those late round gems for us. Spillane putting him up on his wing definitely would be great for him.
yeah, because they seem to have the same attitude. I wonder what's Spillane metrics.
But going on to round 6, pick 208, the running back from New Hampshire. Like I said, I'm sorry for butchering this guy's name. I guess is it Dylan Lobb or Lobbe?
Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
For sure. But man, listen, when I hear your name being said, I'll pick it up. So sorry for butchering your name. But
Yeah, no intent,
uh,
no
no
ill
disrespect.
intentions,
But
no
from what I
disrespect.
seen, man, this guy he looks like he's more that hybrid that can go out and play in the slot. Comes out the backfield and catch. He got some good speed. He kind of gives me that I say it more like I say Austin Eckler type vibe.
Mm.
Austin Eckler, maybe Rex Head, or what's this one more name I'm looking for? Ah, I can't think of the name right now. Maybe it'll come to me. Danny
Danny.
Woodhead.
God, I was about to say it. You was about
Danny
to say
Woodhead.
it.
So yeah, I
You
get
was
more of
about
that
to-
those three vibes from him, man.
Right.
Because he's kick returning, he's rushing, and he's catching out the backfield. So I mean, the guy had 749 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns last season, and also had 68 catches for 699 and 7 scores.
That was
So
his biggest. Yeah, that was. I guess that was one of the biggest things that stood out was that catching ability. I was also thinking about you know how they changed the kickoff this year as well. So
yeah,
a lot of these guys that I want to say short area quickness, if that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. No, that makes perfect sense.
So because him, even the guy that San Fran drafted from Florida, Pearson,
Yeah.
yeah, he's kind of that same that quick switch, it's short area acceleration. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
this was just one of those picks. I was just like, okay, and
And I mean,
then
man, hey, listen, you don't get 295 receiving yards in a game by mistake. He did that
right,
against Michigan. So, you don't get that by mistake. I don't care what type of talent you're playing against.
that's true. That's true. You gotta give him a just. That is
Next,
true.
I mean, you got anything else you want to add, or we can move on?
No, you can move on for loud. I don't even. I doubt he makes the roster, but you can
In
move on.
practice squad, you never know, man. We'll see. I mean, speaking of the running back spot, I mean, you got Zeus White. I guess is Bolden still there?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, it was a they didn't draft any running backs. So who's just about to be the bell cow this year? Apparently,
Yeah, well,
like,
still free agencies, still plenty of free agents out there too. A lot of
yeah,
agents start to pick up after the draft anyway. But we'll
and
move
then
on.
we still got Sincere McCormick too. So
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. We'll see. All right, man. It was round 7, pick 23. Another pick I'm excited about, man.
yeah,
Trey Taylor, safety from Air Force, man. Who's Ed Reed's cousin?
yeah.
I'm a you guy
Shout out,
today.
shout
But
out,
man, I
yeah,
mean.
the Hall of Fame.
6 foot, 213 pounds, man. This guy can roam the field. This guy had 3 interceptions, 1 pick 6, 74 tackles, 5 for loss, 4 pass breakups, and a block kick last fall. So I'll let you go on with it, and I'll piggyback off of you. Go ahead.
Tree, I like Tree. This is one of those picks that I don't know that we look back and we think, how was he not drafted earlier? Because when I first saw the pick, I was like, well, maybe he's undersized. He's at Air Force, but then you go look, he's like you said, he's 6 foot, so he's not small.
Ah,
His profile was, I mean, Jim Thorpe Award speaks for itself.
hey, you don't get that by mistake. I can tell you that.
not by accident. So I'm definitely excited about that spec. It's another, and then again, another player drafted a hard working Antonio Pierce mentality, playing behind Trayvon Murray. Another player coming up for contract. I don't think that's a coincidence. Like the linebacker picking a safety pick on defense, and it's nothing else. You're building up depth, but
Yeah.
I like Taylor.
I mean, he's learning from. I think Trayvon Merrick had a quote unquote breakout year last year. Marcus Epps came in and played good for us, so he gets to learn
Right,
behind those guys. Excuse me. And did we? What's the safety from draft from Georgia we drafted last year? Remember the
Chris
guy,
Smith.
Chris
Yeah,
Smith? Okay, so
that's right. He's
I
still there
mean,
too.
we got good depth at the safety spots, so you know, I feel like he may could, and it depends on how he comes out. He could be getting a few snaps this season because unfortunately, Trayvon Merrick has been dealing with injuries. I think last year he's pretty solid with it. So, we'll see, man. Only time
Yeah,
it takes a 7th round pick. I think it's a quality pick, but we'll see.
another good special teams addition.
Okay, okay. All right. This was the final pick of our draft for the Raiders draft. It was round 7, pick 229 from Pittsburgh, cornerback MJ Devonshire. I hope I'm saying his name right.
I think that's about right,
Yeah.
Mr. Devonshire.
I mean,
I like
four
this pick too.
4 speed, 5'11", 186 pounds, man. 4 interceptions last season at pick six, 12 10 pass breakups in 12 games with 9 starts. How you feel about him? Did you do any research?
No, I think Devonshire. I think he's there to fill that.
Depth pick, basically.
Yeah, to fill that slot role. But that whole of Meek left. That should be another good tackler.
Yeah, I noticed that's been one of the things that they did do with their defensive picks this year. See, they made sure, hey, they bought in some guys that want to hit.
Right. Not afraid
Because
to get.
last year tackling was a problem, man. Like there's a lot of missed tackles and tackles for losses that should have been. So I feel like they like, yo, we gonna bring in some goddamn thumpers this year.
Yeah, that's another. That is, you're right. That is a theme, a tackling. Even though I said it, I didn't think about it like that
Yeah.
because I do remember. I thought about the fourth rounder. The first thing I thought about was when they benched Marcus Peters for not tackling. And
Um,
that's what really stuck in my head. Like, oh, just like you said, they came in looking for some people who want to initiate some contact, especially out on the edge, the perimeters.
I'll say this about Marcus Peters, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I think Marcus Peters was a good guy. I think Marcus Peters more so want to play for the Oakland Raiders and not the Las Vegas Raiders.
Right.
And I feel like if he was still playing in Oakland, I feel like he would have gave more than he did for the Vegas Raiders. But that's just my opinion. Shout out to Marcus Peters, though.
Shout out to Marcus Peters.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, that's the last pick. Overall, man, what did you get a grade for the entire draft?
Uh, I give it a B minus.
B minus.
Yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't. I think we could have filled out some of our needs better. Even though I don't think I think they filled up. They made some good picks. I think I'm looking at more so how they align up with the needs, like tackle, another corner. I mean, they did draft a corner, not very high, but we'll see how that pans out.
Well, it's still
Um,
some valuable corners out there. Xavier Howard comes to my mind.
that's
So you
true.
still got some solid corners. You still got solid running backs on the market. For the receiver, people that think we need another receiver, you still got solid receivers out there. So
Yeah, receiver. I never thought about receiver. I mean, I feel
I
like
think
Trey
you're
Tucker is gonna
fine,
come
but
up. Yeah, I feel like Trey Tucker. I don't know to say people are under not thinking about him, but I think he's gonna come on this year better than he did last year. And you still got Jacoby, you still got Devontae, and now bringing in Bowser, Bowers. I don't say it. I would call him Bowser, like the
I got
turtle.
yeah, power. Yeah, I got you.
Maury. But yeah, after bringing in Bowers, you now you got to add another weapon that can kind of navigate the parts of the field that the receivers won't be in. So
Hmm.
I think it's different. I think it's I give it a B minus.
Oh man,
If you,
check it out, man. I got some breaking news, man. I just got the list from my guy. He gave me a list of undrafted free agents, undrafted free agents that we are signing, man. I can run down the lane of these players right quick if you want me to.
yeah, go ahead.
Hey man, we got a quarterback, Carter Bradley from South Alabama. I heard that's Gus Bradley's son.
Yes,
Um,
it is.
yeah, we got a Clark Barrington, a guard from Baylor. We got a Andre Coker he's a tackle from TCU. Jill Foreman, a receiver from Arkansas State. Tamari Fox, defensive tackle from North Carolina. We got TJ Franklin, defensive end from Baylor. We got an Amari Gainer from North Carolina, defensive end. DeMarcus Govmeyer from Northern Iowa. He's a cornerback. And this guy's name, hope I ain't messing it up. Lee Deatrick Griffin, receiver from Mississippi State. We got a Jack Joinen from Furman, a guard. A Ramel Keaton, a receiver from Tennessee. Will Putnam, a center from Clemson. A Phelan Sanford, safety from Nebraska. A Norris Shannon, a defensive tackle from Iowa. A Jaquan Shepard, a cornerback from Maryland. Ron Stone, from Washington State, sound like a porn star name, man. No disrespect.
You took the words up my took the words up my head, man.
And then Rashad Williams, cornerback from Texas Tech. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not familiar with any of these guys, but I hope these guys definitely get a chance in training camp, mini camp. And if any of them can make an impact, man, bring them on, man.
Oh yeah, I'm wondering if is there a max that you can put on your undrafted free agents or just whoever you want?
I'm not for sure, but I mean they signed a good big man. Like I said, this just came in from my source, so I was reading it. I mean, it's a good list.
Breaking news.
Oh yeah, man. Um, other than that, man, I feel like this class could be a big class. I do feel like, to me personally, this is a make or break season. I just feel
Damn, make it
like,
big.
yeah, I feel like Devontae's getting older. You can't keep wasting Devontae's time. He's getting older, man.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like with the cornerback, excuse me, the quarterback spot, I heard some people saying, "Hey, Gardner Minshew may be the answer." They feel like Aiden O'Connell don't have the attitude that the Raiders need, and they feel like Minshew got that gunslinger, wild man mentality. He talks trash. I feel like he possibly could be the quarterback to lead this team, man. And you could let O'Connell sit back. I think Minshew roam around a little more than O'Connell does,
Yeah,
and
he does.
he buys a little more time. And I mean, like, if I had to pick right now, I probably have to say, yeah, I would like to see Minshew lead the team. What's your opinion on that?
That's hard for me because I like Garner Minshew.
I
He
like
is a
O'Connell. And
veteran.
don't get me wrong, I like O'Connell too, but I just feel like Minshew
I
is better for right now.
yeah, for maybe for this year. But and I just hate to sit O'Connell after he played the way he played last year. But I guess you start with the vet, then go to the rookie. You can't start with the rookie and go back to the vet because you kind of throw off his confidence. I understand that concept.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, we all kind of built. This is make or break. But
I
we
mean,
built to win. But they built to win, though, in my opinion.
and I mean, man, bringing in Christian Wilkerson to me lets me know, hey, they was ready. Like, hey, okay, we finna go all in.
Yeah,
I feel like that was a great pickup, and you had him with Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz, your man with that jacket from the draft last year. And I feel like we got a solid defensive
let the boy live, man. Let the boy live. I
line.
do. So I do got a question. Do you think what do you think would you have done anything else in the draft different at quarterback? Like because it was already understood we were never going to get Jaden Daniels.
We
So
we wasn't gonna get Jaden. I wasn't a
yeah,
fan of Drake May. I was
me,
okay with Bo Nix.
no,
Drake May
I don't.
gave me more that Trubisky type vibe coming from North Carolina.
I
Wasn't
mean,
either one of them.
he's looked better than last year, but I mean, I it didn't make me much of a difference. He's not just like you said, Sam Howell, um, Vincent Trubisky move. Not he don't move the needle for me. I think he went to the spot, but he don't move the needle for me.
I was more so all in for Michael Penix and
Yeah.
Atlanta shot waves to the lead, taking them at number 8, if I'm not mistaken.
Woo,
Um,
dang, number
they
8.
sent shot waves to the lead, and from what I'm hearing, Kirk Cousins camp wasn't happy about that, but that's another story for another time. I do feel like we should have at least got one of the guys that I mentioned earlier, which was Spencer Rattler, Jordan Travis. I feel like one of those three guys should have been a Raider to at least come
Mm,
in the training camp and compete for that job.
compete. Yeah, and compete. I agree. I completely agree. But we will see. We will see.
Most
But
definitely.
I'm behind Gardner. He give it. They acting like he the new snake. Side note: were you able to watch the interview he did on Max Crosby podcast?
No, now that you put me on, I'm gonna check it out as soon as we wrap up.
Go watch it. You gonna find a whole new appreciation for Gardner Mitchell, man. Go watch it.
Well, and that's what I was saying. I just feel like his attitude he's gonna bring there. I feel like the offense is gonna be a whole lot of fun this year.
Yeah, absolutely. If nothing
Whole
else,
lot of
if
fun.
nothing else,
Whole lot of fun. And I think the offense is gonna be a whole lot of fun and put up a bunch of numbers. And one thing I did wanna this is another side note. I guess Tom Telesco felt like we didn't need a quarterback after we put up all those points and bust the Chargers ass last year. I guess he's seen enough. He was like, shit, I don't really need I'm coming over there and I'm just gonna add my expertise to it and we're gonna keep going.
I
So
hope not.
I don't
I
know,
hope
man. It's
not.
if he drafted great with the Chargers, I mean, I don't still fuck the Chargers, but the guy put some talent over there with the Chargers. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he did. But see, my thing is going to be what is his plan to solve the quarterback? Because it's already established that he's never traded back, and he rarely trades up. Every
Sometimes
blue
you gotta let the
moon.
board fall to you, man.
I agree. I completely agree. I completely agree. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yes, sir.
Because that Penix, I think if Penix was there, they would have drafted him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But like I said, I mean, Atlanta obviously was like, yo, we paid $100 million to a guy that's coming off a busted Achilles tendon. We got to have somebody else. And granted, Michael Penix has had injury issues in the past, so and he's a little older, so you're gonna let him sit
For
for
another 3 years,
three to
two or
four
3 years.
years, or you gonna give him a chance to come in and actually compete? Because personally, right now, as far as I know, Kirk Cousins probably get a team the best chance to win.
Yeah,
That's
right now.
my opinion. Right now,
Yeah.
uh,
It's
we seen how
and
Kirk Cousins was setting the league on fire last year with the Vikings.
it's the fun and it makes you wonder it makes you wonder if Penix actually got a chance to start
He
because
might do. He's coming
you
off that
got a
injury.
you already got a young team. I mean, your whole offense is young. I mean, the oldest person probably on like one of your linemen.
Let me
You
tell
got
you.
a first year head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He implementing a brand new offense. Like
I'm
it might be Kirk Cousins might be $100 million backup boy.
gonna tell
That's God. That's
you.
crazy.
This guy's going down to Atlanta. I don't know how familiar you are with Atlanta. This guy's he's wearing do rags. He got that Atlanta look. He's gonna
I
be
think
playing
you'll.
nights in Magic City, and
I think you'll fit right in.
he's gonna have fun down there. Trust me.
Yes, sir.
He's a winner in Atlanta. We seen how they embrace Mike Vick.
Yep.
Mike Vick kind of killed himself down there, and I love Mike Vick, but we know that incident, and I'm not gonna harp
Right.
on that. But if he
Right.
goes
Right.
to Atlanta and he can win, and he got that attitude, Kirk Cousins might be a
I'm telling
distant
you.
cousin.
I'm telling you. That boy. That's gonna be. You might see $100 million backup. Like that's crazy to think about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
Wow.
with that being said, man, you want to drop your social media info or you good?
I gotta get some social media info. Y'all know I'm not on social media.
Hey
This,
man,
this is how you find me right here. But I think I am going to set up a Twitter,
I got you,
and
bro.
I'll make sure that I keep you all posted and updated, specifically for the Kings for the Culture.
Yes, sir. Twitter B300 Harley, Instagram Harley B300. Have two Instagrams. The other one is Holla at Harley. Facebook Brandon Harley, and I just started a TikTok Holla at Harley as well, man. Other than that, I really ain't got anything else to say.
You got enough for the both of us. I
Hey
don't.
man, I got enough, man. You never have too much, man. This is like I
We
said,
got this.
Kings for the Culture podcast, powered by Holla at Harley, excuse me. Other than that,
Oh,
man, I really ain't got nothing to say. If Max got anything else to say, other than that, we gone.
peace.
Peace.